Hey everyone, and welcome back to On a Water Break, the podcast where we talk about everything you and your friends are talking about on a water break. See how we did that? This week we're going to be remembering the legend Eileen Cunningham. We'll also find out what made Jeremy say,
first group to ever have a finalist in all three classes at the same time. Also the first group to have two independent world class finalists in the same year at the same time.
what made Whitney say,
there's almond and latte, which is your standard. There's chocolate and mocha, and one of them's a little more on the purple side.
All this and more on this week's episode of On a Water Break.
8 off the mat and go. Welcome to On a Water Break, the podcast where we talk everything marching arts.
Everyone, bring it in.
It's time for a water break.
Hey everyone, it's Joey. I have been AWOL for a little bit. I'm so excited to be back with On a Water Break. I hope some of you are enjoying the start of football season because it means it's the beginning of marching band season, the real show. We've got some exciting episodes coming up this fall, and we will give you a sneak peek on those in an upcoming episode. But first, before we see who's on the sidelines this week, go and subscribe on your favorite listening app, write us a review, and share with a friend or a foe. Got a question or a good topic to talk about? Email us on autowaterbreakpodcast@gmail.com or find us on social media and DM us if you want to be on the show. We even have a form now that you can fill out if you want to be a guest. Check it out in our link in the bio. Who's on the sideline this week? Let's find out. Whitney, how are you today?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm living life. We're past it's time to write all the drill, and now it's time to let's clean all the things and learn the show. So I'm having fun. This is the fun part. What about you?
Just doing the things.
Yeah,
just doing the things.
Are we?
Yeah.
I don't know how much you've gotten to talk about it on the podcast. Are we allowed to talk about how things have been going at Bridgeland?
So it's been really good. It's been a smooth transition. Everybody's really nice, and my coworkers are really friendly, and I really like my kids, all 64 of them, and it's just been it's good.
That's awesome. I've always wondered, and maybe this is like an off the podcast thing, but how do you clean 64 kids? I have a struggle cleaning 12. So how does the queen do it?
It's hard. So for a large part of the show, there's a rifle line, then the main flags become dancers, and then there's a flag line, and then there's another flag line. So I basically have like 4 12-person color guards happening at all times. And I literally today I was in the tower, like we were focusing on cleaning our drill today. So I was in the tower and I was like, okay, rifles, I'm watching you this time. Okay, dancers, I'm watching you. Cause like they're all over the field and I just can't
oh my goodness.
So, but I spend most of my time with the flags cause there's 48 flags, happening at all times, plus the like 4 alternates we have. So it's a lot.
Yeah.
It's a lot.
Well, kudos to you and good for you for taking on that challenge.
I can only imagine the range of skill level with 64 members as well.
It's pretty big because you got like brand new freshmen, and then you have freshmen that have done the cadet guard, and then we only have like one kid that was already in high school and joined. So I feel like that seems to happen a lot where like a junior's like, oh, I discovered color guard. And I'm like, where have you been? But there's really not a lot of that. So for most parts, like the sophomores are the sophomore level. But even like I have like 25 sophomores. So the range of sophomores is like, it's pretty big.
Wow.
It's crazy.
Well, good on you.
Yeah.
I'm glad it's going well. That's exciting.
Thank you.
We have another guest on our sideline, Jeremy Denzer. How are you today?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm living, man. What's life like today, these days?
I'm getting ready to start the judging season in a week or two here. My first kickoff in Omaha, Nebraska.
Oh yeah. Which school?
I'm doing the Bellevue Band Invitational. It's my first show. So.
That's awesome. I love the homies there at Bellevue. Marcus Atkoff.
I do too, yeah.
Shout out to Jeremy as well. They're great people. That's a great place to be. And Adam Killam, I think, is around there too. Yep. They're great people. What are you very excited? Are you going anywhere new this year? Or is it like a first time judging anywhere new?
I'm not doing a lot this fall. I just recently moved like 6 months ago, so I'm kind of settling into my new place. But I'm scheduling for the winter and doing a lot of new places. That I'm going to Oklahoma for the first time. which will be interesting. A couple
Oh,
trips to Texas.
yes. Love it. That's
So
that's
good
awesome.
stuff happening this winter. So yeah.
That's awesome. Do you teach at all at any schools? Are you mostly an adjudicator?
I started judging about 8 years ago and left teaching.
Oh, the dream.
So I consult with a few groups here and there, and do some mentorships with some teams, but no full time teaching anymore.
That's awesome. That's so cool. Well, friends, are you ready? Can we do the thing? Are we gonna make this happen? Okay. Well, okay. Well, the before we do any of this stuff, that we'd like to preview some amazing episodes and bonus content we have going on. One of the ones we've got is the DCI correspondence update. Very exciting to hear and see about that. In another episode, Nicole and some of our just amazing guests pay tribute to Bruno Zacala. That's very touching. Hosts live episodes featuring author Jace People and Jade Road, mom of the youngest Ohio State fan. And don't miss Ricardo's quick sit with Bart Woodley at the WGI Circuit Symposium. Ricardo can always get the inside scoop. All of that and more. But before we do that, we're going to take a little commercial break and we'll be right back.
Celebrating its 25th anniversary, Guard Closet was founded as a consignment shop in 2000. Since then, it has grown to become your one-stop shop for the marching arts.
Do you need consignment uniforms and flags for your color guard, marching band, or drumline? We have thousands of sets of consignments in stock and ready to ship.
Do you need show design and custom choreography? Our designers have years of experience in the marching arts.
Do you need to sell your items and clear out your storage areas? We take in more than 600 sets of consignments each year and return hundreds of thousands of dollars to our consigners for their sales.
Do you need to have your students order shoes, gloves, and other equipment? We can set up a microsite for easy student ordering of a wide variety of items.
Do you need custom costumes or flags? We can help get you great designs from our team through top vendors like Show Day Designs.
Have you listened to our podcast, On a Water Break? Weekly episodes and bonus content keep you entertained and informed with what's going on in the marching arts.
For over 25 years, Guard Closet has been here to help. Check us out at guardcloset.com or follow us on social media.
Okay, let's get to the news. Joining us today is former New England resident and old friend of the show, Jeremy Denzer. We're so glad Jeremy joined us today to to share his memories of Eileen Cunningham. There are very few people in the Winter Guard community unfamiliar with the New England legend Eileen Cunningham. As director of St. Anne's Neponset, she brought countless young women, and sometimes men, to the highest honors in NSBA as well as WGI. St. Anne's won 5 world championships, 12 medals, and appeared in 24 WGI World Championship finals. Absolutely just legends in the game. As the article on WGI.org stated, she was the heart and soul of St. Anne's. Jeremy, can we talk a little bit about Eileen?
Sure. I mean, it's really sad we lost WGI Hall of Fame member Eileen Cunningham this past week. As you kind of mentioned, Eileen walked into a St. Anne's rehearsal in 1965 and 6 years later never left. I first moved to Massachusetts in 2000, and at that point, St. Anne's had 6 color guards with 30 members in each one of them, from starting at the age of 3 all the way through world class. The organization that she performed with and then directed and then built into a WGI powerhouse I don't think there's anybody that's ever matched it. Like you said, 24 appearances in finals, 12 medals, 5 gold medals, 6 silver, 1 bronze. St. Anne's the first group to ever have a finalist in all 3 classes at the same time. Also the first group to have 2 independent world class finalists in the same year at the same time. So major accomplishments from a competitive standpoint. But for me, I've known Eileen since I was a performer, and the group I performed with competed against St. Anne's, and I always remember her as an instructor being like just it's so intense, like almost scary, like, but in a good way. Like she knew how to bring excellence out of these kids. And then from there, I became a fan of Eileen's, where as a spectator, just watching, like, again, the excellence and technique that were brought out of these kids by her and her staff. Yeah. But then when I moved to New England, I took over a high school program there. She became a peer of mine, and I really looked at her as a mentor. Yeah, somebody who I looked up to as a director in the circuit that I competed in, that my kids competed in, and she was a fan of every color guard. Yeah, you see her as with this like intensity, but then when you get to know her, she was the kindest, most gentle person you could ever imagine, and she was truly a fan of this activity. She would cheer on every team. She would watch the other groups. She was always giving positive feedback if she saw the kids in the hallways. And she also became a really good friend of mine. Over the years. Just like learning from her, but then also just hanging out with her at shows and just seeing her at WGI. She's one of the most kind and gentle people you could ever meet in your life. And truly somebody who created a family with St. Anne's. If you think I actually asked her at one point, is there a girl in Neponset that you have not taught? And she's like, nope, I've taught them all. Like, that's the impact she had on her community, in terms of that organization, and that they still exist to this day, really in part, due to Eileen's dedication to that team.
Yeah, I mean, I think when you have somebody that has that much, the power is not the right word, but impact, like ability to impact, and they use that in such a positive way. Like it'd be so. I feel like it's so easy to have all this knowledge, all this background, all this experience, all these accolades, and then just be really snooty about it. But like the reason why all those exist are because I feel like she stayed humble and she stayed in the growth mindset throughout that entire career, and that's why something like that happens. Is that you're just constantly, is this person okay? Like everybody gets that attention, individual attention. Everybody grows from the tree. Like it's incredible to see something like that. Mm-hmm. And when we lose something like that, I always wonder like what did she know that now somebody else has to go find and figure out, and if it's, like you're saying, if she talked to every single person, that all of that information lives somewhere in our activity still. And it's really exciting to know that it's still,
it's really interesting affecting. Seeing the St. Anne's organization up close and knowing that, there's girls that march in St. Anne's now that are daughters, some of them granddaughters of members that Eileen also taught. Yeah. So they're generation upon generation, and a lot of them are now instructors of the St. Anne's organization that were former performers of that. So it's passed on through that community, and it still continues to thrive there. Yeah.
It's beautiful. Yeah. Whitney, did you have any experience with Eileen?
I did not. Again, just like Bruno, like I have a lot of people that in my life that were taught by her, with her. But Duffy was saying the other day that she was just such a good supporter of color guard, and he said that like a group could literally go out and like poop all over the floor, and she would still find like redeeming qualities about their performance. And like he just was like, she was just such a good person and such a good educator, and the things that she did for so many people is just like remarkable. So no, I sadly did not know her though.
Wow. And it's interesting because I like I said, I think she was she was known as being a very tough instructor in some ways. And I once asked a friend of mine who worked with her with their cadet team, which is like age 3 to like 6 years old. Yeah. And I was like, what is she like when she teaches those kids? And he's like, she is the most intense and tough instructor that you could ever imagine. But at the end of the day, they all leave and they're like, I love you, Eileen. See you next week. Like she's their mom. Yeah. Yeah. At the same time, but she expects greatness. Yeah. From them.
Yeah. And I don't feel like those are like, I think you can be to the like hold your students to the standard, and they can still leave wanting to give you a hug and excited to come, tomorrow. They're ready to do it again. I don't think those are two separate people. And like Eileen is proof of that you can hold people to a standard and still keep it a safe, familial vibe. And I think when we have powerful people like that in our space, it just makes the activity so much more. And I'm hoping that. Go ahead.
I was going to say another interesting thing I remember about Eileen is that I'm also the director of the New England Pride Color Guard, and one year I think it was like our second season we wanted to bring in some outside instructors to help us clean for one of our big parades, and I asked Eileen to come and teach our rifles, and it was the funniest thing I've ever seen. Seeing her come in, people were like, "Oh my god, I'm so afraid Eileen Cunningham's going to be teaching us." But she was so good with them, and these are other adults, yeah. And she was so great with them, and she was so detail oriented, and she was but fun at the same time. It was just a really unique experience to see her teach outside of her element, which is St. Anne's.
Yeah, that's cool. It's cool that like it's not exclusive to St. Anne's. It's just who she is. I think that's powerful, and I think listeners and viewers could take something away from that. Like you don't have to be this person or that person. I think Eileen was herself. And her truest form of herself. And I think when you're true to yourself, and your students can tell. If you're being real, if you're being if you're putting on a facade, for whatever.
Exactly.
And so I think our listeners can take something away from Eileen, and it's just, teach how you are, be detail oriented, but it's got to stay as a family, and it's got to, your kids, they have to want to come back, or you're going to be in the building stage every single year,
Mm-hmm.
That's beautiful. Do you have any other stories you'd love to share? This is a great opportunity to do this.
I actually, it was funny. I've been through social media. I've been learning very interesting facts that you would never have known. One thing that stuck out this week, I saw a post from King Sabers saying that St. Anne's was the first group to ever spin King Sabers, and that Eileen was critical in the development of the King Saber. And I was like, I had no idea, but
and her legacy gets to live on too. That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Well, Eileen, we're going to miss you, but it doesn't sound like you're gone. It just sounds like pieces of you are forever woven in the activity. So
it's true.
Well, we thank you. I'm going to try to lighten it up a little bit. It's always tough to talk about people we've passed, but it's important to honor them, and it's cool to learn from their lives. Do you guys keep up with like college marching band stuff at all? If you do, you already know this, but some teams have kind of changed their uniforms. Another thing that I'm seeing that's kind of a trend is people with more years are more. I'm going to say more candles on their birthday cake. Are in a college marching bands. There's a gentleman at the LSU band. He kind of went viral this past weekend, and his name is Ken Broussard. He's at LSU. There is another person. Her name is Lois Rogie. I'm reading this off my phone. Her son is texting me during this. I wanted to get some information out about her. She is 57 years old, and she's in the NC State marching band. This is her second year. She has 2 kids that have marched in the band previous. Incredible. The last time she was in band was in 1987. And now she's a loan specialist. She went back for her master's last year, getting a master's in accounting, and this is going to be her second year in marching band, and it's really neat to see. It's never too late, and there's always another opportunity to do band, and it's great to see these folks getting to do their victory lap is what I'm kind of calling it. Like, what do you have to lose?
I just saw the video of that Ken Broussard right before we came on this podcast tonight, and it was hilarious. He said that he, as a kid, he always dreamed of being in the LSU band, and he hadn't played his tuba in like 40 years. And a year ago, he started like athletic training and taking tuba lessons, and he was like preparing for this. And he's retired, and he's like went back to college just to be in the band. Yeah.
That's beautiful. I think that's so cool, and I wonder I want to hear from them, and I want to hear about the journey it took, and I want to hear about how the membership kind of treat him, because like I think some of us kind of know what happens in some college marching band, and there's a lot of fun that happens, and I wonder what happens when you've got a grandfather and a grandmother out here, kind of looking over your shoulder, being like, should you be at this football game right now with those those eyes right now? I want to know what rehearsals are like too, because like, what does a water break look like for somebody in his 60s? So that's dope. I like that. Whitney, do you have a story for us?
I do. It is about the bands in Portland. They are not going to be playing at like the games and stuff this year. So at high school football games throughout Portland Interscholastic League this fall, the band will not play on. Band directors for almost all of the city's high schools are not going to oversee performances at games this fall or basketball games in the winter. After years of this back and forth with their pay schedule for outside of class duties between the school district and the Portland Association of Teachers. So that seems to be dramatic, but it's good. I think that the band directors are putting their foot down. They're like, nope, if you're not, it seems like if you're not going to pay us appropriately, it doesn't say that explicitly that it's about like the amount that they're being paid or whatever, but like, if you're not being paid for what you're doing, then you got to put your foot down and don't, for lack of a better term, don't be a slave, don't be a slave to the man and the system and whatever. So, I mean, it sucks for the kids, but I get it.
I don't know what the rules are like in Portland or in the state, but I wonder what it costs the band to go and do these things. And I wonder how much of that they're expecting to come out of the budget that the kids are paying. And I wonder if the kids that do the football stuff have to pay that as well. And I wonder about just the equality of those things. We deal a lot with ADs and trying to make it possible for all the things. And I just worry sometimes when the band's not at a football game. It just seems like a tradition worth keeping and a way to keep school spirit and keep all the kids, on literally the same team. And when you lose something like this, I hope the admin sees or understands what message they're giving off, because this to me feels unfair and feels I don't know, silly. I don't like, why does the football team but not the band and vice versa?
I also feel like it's, as somebody who taught a high school band, not in a place like Texas where you actually get paid an actual salary, but like. I figured out at one point for the number of hours that I was putting in as a director of a color guard that I was probably getting paid like $3 an hour for my time.
Yeah.
When you take in football games and competitions and all the work outside of rehearsal that goes into preparing.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm not doing this to make money because I'm not even getting paid minimum wage. To do this job. Yeah. So it's important that people sometimes have to take a stand and say, the band's not going to perform because,
I think it's great. I'll say it on the podcast, and hopefully the podcast, all of our hosts are on the same page. Like, I stand with them. That's incredible. And if there's anything that we can do to kind of, be ammo for those fights, like, look, they're talking about us on the national stage because of how ridiculous this is. You should change something, Like, I hope this exposure or likes or, the algorithm and all that jazz, I hope this gets back to Portland, and I hope they see that there are people that stand with them. This is good. Well, thank you, Whitney, for that. We're going to toss to another commercial. We'll be back with more on a water break.
Hi, everyone. It's time for your travel tip of the week with me. I'm Beth with Peak Group Travel. Are you traveling with delicate or oversized instruments? Be sure to check with your bus company or your airline for any extra fees that you may incur or any climate-specific needs you have for your instruments. A little extra legwork before you leave could help you avoid costly repairs when you arrive. Don't forget to like and follow Peak Group Travel on Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn, and be sure to email info@peakgrouptravel.com when you're ready to start planning your next performance tour. I'm Beth with Peak Group Travel and your travel tip of the week. Ready to elevate your travel game? Welcome to Peak Group Travel, the ultimate adventure creators. Whether you're planning an unforgettable class trip, a once-in-a-lifetime parade experience for your marching band, or a choir tour full of memorable performance venues, Peak Group Travel handles it all, so you can focus on making memories. From breathtaking international destinations to amazing adventures right here at home, Peak Group Travel customizes every journey to your vision. We're not just planners, we're your partners for the trip you want for your students. Our online registration portal makes managing your pre-trip experience smooth and convenient, We even collect your payments if you'd like. Picture it: effortless planning, unmatched experiences, and smiles that last long after the journey ends. That's the Peak Group Travel difference. And if you choose to partner with Peak on your next tour and you mention that you heard about us on the On a Water Break podcast, you'll earn a $100 trip credit. Discover why groups everywhere trust Peak Group Travel. Follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn, and be sure to visit peakgrouptravel.com today. You pick the date, and we'll make it great.
Okay, everyone, we are back. It is time for the 60-second tech blog. This is my favorite. This is my favorite thing. Oh my gosh.
60-second tech block.
Ricardo.
60-second tech block.
Those are the soothing sounds, ladies and gentlemen, of our one and only Ricardo. So if you're looking for a wedding singer, hit him up. This segment is where one of our hosts, oh my gosh, I'm going to take that back. This segment is where one of our guest clinicians is put on the spot to deliver a nonstop 60-second session on a topic that needs some serious attention after the last run. Our special tech this week has come prepared with 3 topics they can think to talk about for a full 60 seconds straight. No hesitation, no pauses, just pure technical gold. This week, let's see. Whitney or Jeremy? Whitney's shaking her head. We're going to go with Jeremy because Jeremy, we haven't had you on in a bit. So let's do it. Do you have 3 topics that we could possibly pick from today?
Sure. I kind of came with my list from the adjudication standpoint of things that I think would be good to talk about. Number one is preparing yourself for a productive critique. The other one I would be interesting is using the commentary you get from a judge for education purposes. How do you present that to your students? Yeah. And get them to learn from it. And then also, how do you work? What's the best way to work with a clinician or a mentor that has been brought in for your program?
Wow. Is there a way you do all 3 in 60 seconds? I think we would all love that.
I mean, I do feel like some of the things that they all kind of lend to each other. So yeah.
Otherwise, I'll just email you. All right, we'll get all the information. I'll keep it to myself. Whitney, do you have any ideas or preference on 1, 2, or 3?
Number 1, the critique one.
Oh yeah,
because I hate going to critique.
I always feel like I don't do a good job, and then like I leave critique and I go, what do I do with what just happened? So I was on 1 the entire time. The number 2 is great, talking to the students, but I think there's a way that if we start it and maybe hold it back a little bit, maybe it's 62 seconds. I think you can get all 3. Whitney, can you pull up your phone and set up a time? Oh, she's ready to go. All right, here we go. Jeremy, are you ready? 60 seconds on the clock.
Let's go.
3, 2, 1, go.
So I think the most important thing when we talk about critique is that a critique is not the place to come in and argue about the number you just got. In fact, it's almost more productive if you come into critique and you don't even know what the number is. And always, the first thing is make sure you listen to your commentary. If you're on at the end of the show, ask to go on later and critique so you have time to listen to your commentary, because without listening to your commentary, the critique is not going to be productive. Listen to your commentary, come in with questions, come in with areas that you want clarification. It's okay to ask for advice. I judge downstairs captions a lot, and I love it when somebody comes in and says, you talked a lot on your tape about release points or rotations. How do I fix that? What is your advice? And those are the type of things you come into critique, and especially a downstairs judge is going to be able to give you exercises or ways that you can focus on that. So come in with questions, come in to have a dialogue, and don't come in to argue. It's your place to learn from each other.
The legend himself. Way to go, Jeremy. Whitney, how do you think he did?
That was good. I need to go back and listen, like once the podcast comes out, because I was so focused on the timer.
Yeah.
But yes, it's not a place to argue about the number. I do think like going in and not knowing your numbers would be ideal, but most of the time that's not the case, I think.
Mm-hmm.
maybe,
it's interesting because I work with a lot of different circuits, and I find critiques are the most productive and the ones where they don't release the recap before
Oh,
critique. Yeah.
interesting. I do some like judge coordination, and there's some that give out like your individual number, but they don't give out the recap to the end. Do you find any benefit at all to knowing that number, or do you feel like it's just best that we just come in and talk about the performance today? The number
I feel
really
like
doesn't matter.
it's not really a place to talk about the number. It's critique. The goal of critique is to have a dialogue, to get clarification, to ask questions. You know, to ask advice. Ask, is there
Yeah.
like I said, you talk about this. I notice you focused on this a lot. How do you suggest that I work on that, or how do you things like that? Those are the type of things you can get out of a critique versus you gave me a 6.0 and I think I'm better than that. Yeah.
We got a different number last week.
Yeah.
And it's like, that was last week. That could have been a totally different performance, A, but B, the judges that are here this week are coming with a totally different expertise as well. Like, those numbers should be kind of close, but at the end of the day, it also depends on the contest dynamics, who went on before you, like where everything sat for the day. And numbers management's a big thing. I tell my kids all the time, like, the number doesn't really mean anything until you hear the comments, and maybe this judge caught up on things that were missed last week, and now we're getting the actual information that we missed last week, and yeah, I love the part about not coming in and asking questions. I feel like, so I judge a little bit, and I feel like they come in and just want to tell you what the show is about, like they didn't have an opportunity to do that, early in the day, during their 12 minutes, whatever. And so I go, well, do you have any questions? Because for me, it didn't feel like what you're saying right now. So if you want it to be that, you need to communicate that more efficiently. It felt like this to me today, And so you're saying that you love questions, and do you feel like that's just a normal thing that people should just come in and ask clarifying questions from the tape?
100%. Yeah. Yeah. The worst type of critique is when somebody comes in and just says, "Yeah, what did you think?" I'm like, "Well, I talked for 7 minutes about what I thought." I'm like,
yeah. Critique is so interesting. I hope this 60 seconds help, and if anybody has any other questions, like, come drop a comment. Let's get to the nitty gritty of this. Okay, that was awesome. If somebody out there got some advice from this, then I'm hoping that it was well needed. But now it's time to switch up things. It's time for everyone's favorite. What are we doing?
What are we doing?
What are we doing?
Okay, this is the part of the show where we let loose a little bit, maybe a lot. This is your chance to rant about something in the marching arts that just doesn't make sense. Maybe it's a tradition that needs to go. Maybe it's that habit the performers can't seem to break. Maybe it's something that makes you think, why are we even doing this? Why haven't we started doing this yet? Where are all these things? Whatever it is, this is your moment to call it out. So who's got something they need to get off their chest? Whitney, let's go.
Hi. What are we doing not matching our skin tone to our gloves and possibly our shoes also? Like, there are colors now. There's almond and latte, which is your standard. There's chocolate and mocha, and one of them's a little more on the purple side, but like we got colors now that we can match to our kids' skin tones, and it's important. It's important that they are visible, that they know that we know that they're not just a white kid, like we're not all the same color, and that's awesome. And it's great that we have more diversity in color guard, I think, than we used to, for sure. I know, like, I teach a lot of kids of color in Texas, for sure. But like, can we just do that? It's not hard. You just hold up the picture and you're like, I think you're close to, you look pretty close to mocha. Are you going to get any darker in the sun? Like, we're just, we're just out here in 10 UV index every day. So like, you think this is a good range for you? Are you comfortable with this? Cool.
Yeah. And it doesn't cost anything extra. So I've done a couple orders through the guard closet, and I had a band director like literally go, "Yeah, but it's going to cost more, right? Because they have to match it." And I go, "No, it's a
and
die.
If it did, you should do it anyways."
Yeah. Why is this a conversation point? Why is this a conversation point?
If it was $1 more,
Pay it, dude.
Yeah,
Charge everyone
it's
$35 instead of
and
34.
there's so many options. Like 20 years ago, the options were nude or black. Yeah, when you went to order gloves. Now you have all the options. There's no excuse not to do it anymore. There just isn't.
Yeah, and it's pretty much every brand now. So even if you're I am a what's the big one? I'm blanking on
DSI,
them. Yeah,
McCormick's
yeah.
and DSI,
If I'm a DSI girly, I can still be a DSI girly, but now it's gonna match my skin tone. Like, just do it. Like I think
Mhm.
it's body tights. It's all these things that we've just kind of like. It's like the same thing in the dance world, in the ballet world. Like
Right.
when we
They have
got
point shoes now that match their skin tone, and
yeah
a full range of leotards that match their skin tones. It's not just nude.
yeah.
There are more than one shade of nude.
I feel like we live in a different world, and it's time to get in there. If we're not going to do 2025 type shows, we can at least live in 2025 with the things we're putting on our kids. So absolutely that. And like the other thing that bothers me right now is that I have color guard directors and mostly band directors that don't think about a hairstyle for my kids of ethnic
With
backgrounds.
texture,
Yeah, and so like that is a reality now. From the beginning of band camp what this child has. Like, let's make a plan and let's do a plan together. Like, it doesn't have to be you dictate it. You can go, hey,
Collaborate, right?
yeah, it's not that hard to go, hey, we want this look. Is there anything you can do with your hair? Or if you've got I work here in North Carolina, and some of these schools have a lot of Middle Eastern descent, and so they have special rules and things, and there's always
Like
an
they
option.
don't use like alcohol in their hairspray. Like they're,
Mhm.
I mean,
Yeah.
yes, yeah, for
So
sure.
there's options. So like, why not do that?
Mhm.
Jeremy, do you have a what are we doing?
Sure. What are we doing not finding a way to preserve the history of our activity? It's been over 10 years now since we've basically stopped having any physical media for which is we've lost 10 years of history. It's
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah.
I understand there's copyright issues. I understand, but how do we figure out how to solve that? Yeah, I feel like it's been a long time, and we're truly losing it. I know as a young designer and a young performer, I like studied those DVDs like
Yeah.
they were the holy grail, and I learned so much. And I feel like you can't get that off of YouTube. Yeah, you can't. Yeah, and so what are we doing? I feel like we should have found a solution by now for either a streaming service or
Yeah.
something to get back that history. Yeah.
This is very interesting because I feel like on the color guard side there isn't something that's like constantly pushing out media. And maybe I'm just not in the world enough, but like let's talk about the percussion side really quick. The marching vlogs people and they're like Ben's there's like a bass drum Instagram. They are constantly posting about watch this group do this. Here's a lot run of this. Here's a lot run of so and so doing this. And what I think, what I heard Marching Vlogs was doing is they were going in and taking videos of the shows and like getting to share it with the ensemble. So at least the ensemble has it. And it, I feel like that exists in the percussion space because there's just always cameras and that lot culture that the percussion has. Like, there's so much. Even like Infinibase is a big one. And like it's cool to see all that. I don't see that in the color guard space, and then I don't see full range shows. And I wish there was some kind of content creator that would spend some time just reviewing some of these. And it'd be great to have like a podcast of that. And I just think somebody hasn't realized that it's possible to do. And obviously it takes time, but I'm with you too. Like, we've done the flow marching thing, and flow marching doesn't even let you do audio on the the reset or whatever that issue is. Like, can we figure something out? Because I loved the videos. Like, I have a I don't know. You know what? It's fine. I have an entire like hard drive of shows that I pulled from YouTube back when it was around, and like I've learned so much from just watching, years and years. I agree with you. It's hard when you have to go and scope it out, and then it's not even good quality. And sometimes the audio's even changed. So are you even listening to the audio that the choreographers choreographed to, or was it something they had to overlay so that it didn't impose copyright rules and stuff? Like, I'm with you. I think we're losing we're losing the young generation. It's already becoming harder to do this at the young age. Like this takes so much time, and so they're not even getting the free learning right now with something like this. So I'm with you. Um, I have a what are we doing, and it mostly just has to do with like I've gotten to deal with a lot of people in band and outside of band lately, and my big thing is I feel like there's like tension in places sometimes when we don't all realize that we're all human, but B, like there's a human element to all of this. Like we should always assume that somebody's trying their best and then work from there. When you assume that they're doing this because they're ego tripped or they're like that. I don't know. My what are we doing is what are we doing not treating people like humans? Because I'm just seeing a lot of like in design meetings and in like in interpersonal relationships with instructors and directors, like, oh, so and so does this, and I don't like this. I'm like, well, you should kindly find a way to talk about it, because you coming to me and complaining about it is not going to fix the issue. Like clear communication, non-emotional. Like you can cry, you can be upset, you can do all those things, but it won't fix the problem. What will is that crucial conversation. They're not hard conversations, they're not bad conversations. They're crucial for the growth of the team. We've got to act like a team. So that's my what are we doing is what are we doing not treating people like human? Y'all ready for the next one? The gush and goes is the fun one. All right. We've got that up. Oh.
Great job, everyone. Set your equipment down. Gush and go.
We've got that off our chest. Let's get into the gush and goes. So welcome. This is your chance to shout out something awesome happening in your life, marching arts related or not. Maybe we're excited about a performance, a student success, a big life event, or just something cool. We want to brag about it. No negativity here, just pure, unfiltered hype. So who's got something to gush and go about? Jeremy?
Sure. I can gush and go about. So this past Saturday, the group I founded and am still kind of the pseudo director of the New England Pride Color Guard finished our 8th season. Wow. It's our sixth parade. We kind of had a bunch of stuff in June, and then we have a parade in September, which is interesting. But so we finished our season, 6 parades, had like 80 performers this year. It's just a great season, and I'm really proud of everything we've done. And that's what I would gush about.
Love. That's awesome. Whitney, do you have one?
We got our show silks today for Bridgeland, so that's what I'll be doing after this is washing some silks. Definitely not all of them, but some silks I will be washing. But yeah, also make sure you wash your silks. Danny agrees. Okay, wash your silks.
Can you explain this? Okay, so I was about to just stop your gush and go, and what talk to me about the washing thing.
Well, usually they have like that chemical on them, whatever they set it with, right? I don't really know how digital flags are made, but somebody could tell me. But I just like to wash them because it softens them up and it doesn't like rip through the air so much, and it's not so like loud. Like they're just stiff. Like when you get them, pretty much any company I've had, they're just really stiff when you get them. And I like to make them smell good. Like gotta put the beads in there and make them smell really good and. Yeah, but don't dry them with heat. Never dry flags with heat. So cold water.
Please tell me you don't have to tape all these flags.
Oh, I will not be doing that.
64 flags is crazy.
Especially if you have a double swing flag with 64 kids.
No, we ain't doing no double swing flag. We got some like big thing, but no double swing flag.
I love that. Yeah, I love that.
Swing flags.
My gush and go. I don't really have a part in it. I auditioned for it in June. I did not get it, but I'm really excited. The Jabberwock, he's just announced their new show Frequency at the MGM in Las Vegas. They did it on a live stream with Kai Cenat, who's kind of this young person's streamer, does a lot of crazy stuff, has had tons of celebrities on, and they did like a live Mafiathon 3 unveil, and then they talked about the new show. And so my gush and go is just how excited I am about dance being in a place like Vegas and taken to heights like that. Like I was always told as a young hip hop dancer that like I'd be on cardboard on the side of the street busking, and that's like what I could, the highest esteem I can do. And to see these 12 members create something so life like just limitless is the last show, but just how much it's grown and how many people are now part of that organization. I think it's incredible to see where hip hop dance can take you, and the fact that they're all boys. And like when I was younger and doing ballet, there was always like, there was always a caveat, not a caveat, but there was always words that were, oh, he's a dancer and he's da da da. Okay, so he must be blank. He must be this, and it wasn't fun being a dancer and learning ballet being younger, because there was just so much words around it, and it's cool to see like a male centered hip hop group expand. Now there's females in the ensemble, but B, it's cool that it's just so openly appreciated, and like seeing all the repost of the live stuff. It's just cool to see how many people were excited about it. So that's what I'm
Wait,
guessing.
there are females in the ensemble now?
Yeah, so the
Cool.
last cast had some, but now I like the thing about the Jabberwockies is they don't share when you're a member. It's because the mask, like, it makes it so that it can be anybody. There's still people that believe that the original members are performing, and they're more, it's really cool. They're more on the like the logistics side. They were all around the audition, but they haven't probably worn the mask in a 5 to 8 years. They got all the new blood doing it, and now this younger generation. There were 11-year-olds at the audition that made it to the second round. It was incredible. I mean,
Crazy.
yeah. And so a lot of the people that are there now that are 25 or 26 started when they were 17 or 18. So like, it's insane. The quality doesn't change. They pick the right people. They're always looking for that just like that Jabberwocky way to move and all that. Like it's great. And it's cool to see that there are females in the ensemble. And you can't tell. You can't, like, it's the Jabberwockies. And yeah. I'm just so hyped about dance and that it's on a big stage. There we are.
Hey, it's called Gush and Go, not Gush and Stay. Let's go.
That's also one of my favorite sound bites is it's Gush and Go, not Gush and Stay. Oh, I love that. Thanks for a great rehearsal this week. Thanks for everybody that for spending time with us. Whitney, you got any closing stuff?
No, go clean. Count. Make sure your kids are counting.
Yeah,
make them count.
This is the way. Jeremy?
I would say the same thing. Go clean those kids. Go teach them to count so that I can give them good feedback.
Beautiful. If you've got a question or a good topic to talk about, email us on onawatrbreakpodcast@gmail.com or find us on social media and DM us if you want to be on the show. We even have a form that you can fill out if you want to be a guest. We love having people on the podcast. So check out the link in our bio on our social media. Or you could just take your phone, make a video, and send it to us, and maybe you'll see yourself on the next podcast. You can all tell us I'll tell you where you can find us. One more thing. Don't forget we have a YouTube channel now, so go and subscribe and see what we got going on there. Also, before you close out of your podcast listening app, go subscribe, write us a review, and share this with a friend or a foe. I mean, like, share with everybody. The haters, they deserve all this information as well. Follow us on social media on a water break, and we'll see you at the next rehearsal on a water break.
The On a Water Break podcast was produced by Jeremy Williams and Christine Ream. The intro and outro music was produced by Josh Lyda. To learn more, visit lydamusic.com. And until next time, thanks for tuning in.